Hello you guys, this is Ben here with another video. So we're on the ground at Los Angeles in the United Colors flying for VirtualUA again. Gate is 85 and we're going to be flying to Denver International today. KDEN. I'm sure you guys know the airport. The scenery there will be by Flight Beam. The scenery here is by FS Dream Team. We're in the Aerosoft A320. So a new aircraft. I know you guys have seen the NGX the last few times. So you can see gate 85, and we'll be arriving at gate Bravo 39. Flight takes us up to flight level 370. We have a cost index of 18. Time in the sim right now is about 15:15. That's the scheduled time of departure, which is what 3:15. Or scheduled time of departure rather is 3:50. So 15:50 Zulu. Or not 15:50 Zulu, 15:50 in terms of, you know, a military time measurement. At any rate, it should be a fun flight. We have an alternate of Colorado Springs. We're going to have flaps 1 on takeoff. We have just about 17,500 pounds of fuel for the flight. We have 3,400 in reserves. And, yeah. I'm looking forward to the flight. It should be fun. I'm flying with a friend of mine named Ferbis, who you might hear on the frequency. He's going to be flying out of John Wayne, and we're going to meet at Denver. So he's a good friend of mine. He'll be flying along with us. And we can go ahead and get into the flight deck here in a moment. The aircraft already has external power connected, and we're just going to get it set up the rest of the way. So let's get into the flight deck and get the show on the road.
Alright guys, welcome into the flight deck. Standard A320 flight deck. The aircraft has external power connected, batteries are on, the nav and the logo light are on, and we're currently boarding fuel and passengers. We'll get the cargo later. What we should do at this point is go ahead and call up for clearance, and then at that point I will finish the rest of the pre-flight. So let's give them a call for our clearance at this point. It's going to be ground here at Los Angeles. We are on VATSIM, I should have mentioned that. We're on VATSIM and ground is online 121.75, so we'll give them a call. Ground, good evening, United 742 IFR to Denver.
United 742, clear to the Denver International Airport. Ocean 4 departure, Daggett transition that is filed. Coordinates at 17,500, departures on 124.5, squawk 7166.
United 742 is cleared to Denver International. Ocean 4 departure, Daggett transition then is filed. Climb by SID except maintain 5,000, departure 124.5, squawk 7166, and no worries at all on the clearance, it's no problem.
742, read back correct. Expect from 825 for departure, advisory taxi.
Wilco, United 742. Okay, so a little confusion over the routing there.
Are you ready for it?
Let me mute this guy here while I talk. So a little confusion there over the routing. It's no worries. I'm a ground controller here at Los Angeles, so I'm familiar with the routings, and I knew that what I'd filed for was fine. There was no reason to amend it. Obviously, he's new, and that's totally understandable that he wouldn't, you know, have all the knowledge he'd need. So it's no problem. You just work out the kinks. Anyway, we have our clearance. It's exactly as I expected it would be. We'll put in our squawk, which is 7166, and at this point, I'm going to tune back to ground and finish completing the pre-flight procedure. So let's get to that. So, pre-flight is complete, and we're ready to get out of here. So let us quickly go over our departure review, and just touch on that. So taxi is going to be via Charlie 6 Bravo to 25 right. We'll request full length. On departure, if we have any issues below 80 knots, we're going to vacate the runway, deal with the issue, and then get back out there and try it again. If we have any issues over 80 knots, we're only stopping for an engine failure or fire. Once we're beyond V1, we're committed to going into the air, and we will deal with whatever might come up at that point. So we've touched on the departure review. Before start checklist to the line. Flight deck prep complete. ADIRS, ADIRS's nav. Required fuel 8.0 planned, 8.0 on board. Altimeters 2988 set and cross-checked. Departure review complete. Before start checklist is to the line.
Right, 13, contact SoCal
as far as the departure review, it goes a little more in depth. We're departing off 25 right. We're going to hit Docker at or below 3,000, Wheeler at or below 5,000, Shafe, PV, Holtz, Ocean, Seal Beach, Sebi, and Daggett. So the before start checklist is to the line. Ground connections are clear. We're boarded. Doors are closed. We're running on the APU. We'll get our beacon light on, and we'll call for push and start. And I think they're going to push us back in the wrong direction. It's just a little bug, but that's okay. Alright, before start checklist below the line. Beacon on, signs on, windows and doors closed and armed. Takeoff data set, thrust levers idle, transponder is set auto. Parking brake is set for now. Before start checklist complete.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
And we'll let them lock up the gear and get ready to push. So, engine start procedure, it'll be 2 then 1. We're going to push back in the wrong direction here in the alley, so we're going to have to do a 180 out of here.
Locking gear.
But we can live. It's not a huge deal. Probably see those guys out there locking the gear.
Departure check completed. Bypass bit
Yeah, there
inserted.
it is.
Release parking brakes.
Alright, brakes released. We'll be starting 2 then 1.
Start that wheel.
Starting number 2. N2 rising, N1 rising as well. Oil pressure is rising. Everything's looking fine. There we go. EGT, exhaust gas temperature coming up. N1 is beginning to rise now more rapidly. Oil temperature is rising. All indications look fine. And we got a good start on number 2. Starting engine number 1. Looking for the exact same thing here. Want to see N2 rise. Slow increase on N1, oil pressure should begin to increase.
Set parking brakes.
Alright, brakes are set. We got a good start on number 2, standing by on number 1. Thanks, guys. Alright, fuel flow is increasing. N1 rising more rapidly. Oil temperature coming up. Everything looks fine. There's a good start on engine number 1. Alright, after start flows, we can get rid of the APU and the APU bleed. Ignition switch back to normal. Set our trim for takeoff. Reset the rudder trim. Trim for takeoff is, should be about 29%, which it looks like we've got set right on the nose, so 28% is fine. Auto brake to max. Spoilers armed, flaps set 1 for takeoff. And we can run the after start checklist. Anti-ice is off. Pitch trim 29% set. Rudder trim 0. ECAM status check. After start checklist complete.
Southwest 642, request taxi.
Left is clear.
Over 642, 2 for left taxi via Delta Echo
nose gear
Victor,
light
on
on for
2998.
and we will check our flight controls.
Delta Echo Victor is a 24 left, Southwest 642.
Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Flight controls are checked. Before takeoff checklist to the line. Flight controls checked, flight instruments checked, takeoff briefing is complete, flap setting 1 planned, 1 set, V-speeds and thrust, 130, 139, 140, flex 67. ECAM memo, standing by in the ECAM memo. And what you should see here is essentially a built-in check just to make sure that you've done your job. See the ECAM memo pop up here, it'll give you the takeoff items. There we go. Takeoff config is normal, ECAM memo, takeoff no blue. Before takeoff checklist is to the line, so we'll give them a call for taxi. We have 2988 on the altimeter.
642, contact SoCal approach on 124.5. Contact SoCal 24.5.
Okay, we already released the brakes. I thought I'd set those, but that's fine. United 742 with the altimeter taxi.
United 742, runway 25 right, taxi via Bravo, altimeter 2998.
Roger, 25 right via Bravo, United 742. Alrighty, and we will begin our taxi on Avenue.
Central aircraft, Los Angeles ground is closed. Contact Los Angeles SoCal on 124.5 for further close via.
Alright, so he just closed. We're going over to
So
SoCal.
5232, John Wayne Airport is at your, let's see, your 10 o'clock, 15 miles from port
And
side.
yeah, we'll head on out to 25 right. So we need to make this 180 here in the alley.
At my 1 o'clock, we'll report in sight. 5252, negative 10 o'clock, 13 miles. 10 o'clock, at 13 miles, 5252.
We're Adley
Yeah,
Alley.
218, should be on heading at 235 right now.
And we'll get down on the runway. Alrighty. Good stuff.
On 235, 918.
Alrighty, and we are back. Approaching the runway. We'll get our weather radar on, set our transponder to TARA, and we can run the before takeoff checklist below the line. Takeoff runway 25 right is identified. Minimum takeoff fuel 7.7 required, 7.9 on board. Cabin crew advised engine mode selector normal. TCAS TARA before takeoff checklist complete. Weather radar's on, transponder set. All we need to do is get our lights on and start the clock. We'll give them a call. SoCal, good evening. United 742, short of 25 right, fully ready.
742, SoCal departure, runway 25 right, cleared for takeoff, and we into 240 at 11.
25 right, cleared for takeoff, United 742. Alrighty, we're cleared to go.
Southwest 642, turn left direct Los Angeles, resume loop 7 departure,
Start our
climb
clock.
maintain 15,000.
And we can get out of here.
Left direct to the LAX VR and we'll maintain 15,000, Southwest 642.
SoCal departure in 1 Romeo, 15 Romeo, holding short 27 at Lindbergh, ready for departure.
Takeoff.
American 15 Romeo, so cool, departure, runway 27, clear for takeoff, wind 220 at 5.
27, clear for takeoff, American 15 Romeo.
Southwest 642, leaving my airspace, LA Center's offline radar service terminated, frequency change approved.
Manflex SRS, runway auto thrust blue.
One monitoring the column 122.8, you've been very cool, so cool, we'll see you next time.
Thrust set, 80 knots. V1. Rotate. Positive rate of climb. Gear up.
So 1021, heavy, runway 20 right, clear for takeoff, wind 220.
Copy, there's one clear for takeoff, 20 right for 7 1021 heavy.
Yeah, 742 radar contact, climb and maintain 13,000.
13,000, United 740 issue. Alrighty, climb thrust. You gave us 13,000.
American 15 Romeo, radar contact, climb, maintain 10,000.
Speed check.
Maintain 10,000, American 15 Romeo.
Autopilot's in. Spoilers disarmed.
American 15 Romeo, turn right heading 320, intercept Mission Bay, radial, correction 293, radial outbound, resume on nav.
Alright, after takeoff checklist, landing gear up, flaps retracted,
Right heading
spoilers
320
disarmed,
at the
on after takeoff checklist
293 radial, American 15 Romeo.
And so, 2.5 to 5.
1021, radar contact, climb, maintain 13,000.
And we are up to
13,000 for the
13,000.
1021 heavy, turn right direct Steel Beach, resume Muscle 7 departure.
Right direct Steel Beach and resume the Muscle 7 for 7 1021 heavy.
Gorgeous view right there.
First, good evening, Delta 65 with you on time. First request, IFR to Seattle as filed.
Delta 2065, SoCal departure, clear to Seattle, Tacoma National Airport. CASPA 4 departure, Gorman transition, then as filed. Climb via SID, accept and maintain 5,000. Departure frequency 124.5, squawk 4757.
Gorgeous.
Filed, it's 14757 for Delta 2065.
Delta 2065, lead back correct, expect runway 25 right for departure.
And here's our acceleration height.
65 right, is ready to taxi. Thanks at the point. Bye.
Delta 1702, radar contact lost, 6 miles south of Ontario. Delta 1702, radar contact 2 miles, pressure 6 miles south of Ontario. Alright, 742, climb maintain 15,000, LA Center's offline radar service terminated, frequency change approved.
15,000, frequency change approved, United 742, thanks, good night. to 15,000, so in center's offline, so we can just set this all the way up to our flight level. 370, we're cleared up to, and we will monitor Unicom 122.8. We're away. Bye-bye Los Angeles, Denver, see you soon. Welcome back into the flight deck. So we're about 100 miles from our top of descent. You can see we're getting fairly close to Denver. The sun's starting to set behind us back there to the west. Actually, I guess sun's kind of over here even. Well, I don't know. I can see the sun reflecting in the flight deck, and you can see it here. So let's prep for our descent. We're going to be on the Creed 3 RNAV arrival. We're going to be landing south at Denver because the wind, when I last checked, was out of the south, and I believe it still is. Yeah, 160 at 11, so we'll be landing 16 left on the Creed 3 RNAV star. We're on the Wolf transition, so let me go to the plan mode here on the ND, zoom out a bit, and we can step through each of these fixes. So we're inbound from Dove Creek to Wolf. From Wolf we're going to go to Kepler, to Kaufman, and we're going to cross Kaufman at or above flight level 270. And you can see the routing up here, Kepler, Kaufman. We're then going to track inbound to Tuck. We're going to cross Tuck here. Oh, whoops, wrong part of the chart. Tuck at or above 220, flight level 220, which is fine. Continue stepping through to Creed, to Powder. So we're going to cross Creed here at or above 17,000 to Powder, and our altitude constraint there is between 17,000 and flight level 220, to La Basin, to Tilrid, between 15,000 and 17,000, towards Moguls, as we step through a bit further here, to Moguls, at or above 13,000 and 250 knots on the speed. I should also mention we have a speed restriction at Powder of 250 knots as well. From Moguls we're going to Longs between 13 and 15,000, to Cliff at 11,000. And I'll zoom out a little bit so you guys can get a better look. To Grays in Hime, and then here's the approach course. So it puts us on a left downwind. We'll track towards Jaime or Hime, and then we'll make a left-hand or a right-hand turn onto final. As far as the ILS 16 left goes, so I reset the ND here. As far as the ILS for 16 left goes, it's quite a long runway. It's 12,000 feet, which is a lot of room. The inbound course is 173. Our minimums are 55, 57, obviously high field elevation. If we do need to go missed, we're climbing to 5,900, then a climbing right turn to 12,000 on a 218 heading. It's just basic ILS, nothing too crazy, no obstacles, so it should be fairly straightforward. The identifier is India Lima Tango Tango, and the frequency 110.1 is correct, and the inbound course is 173, as I mentioned, so we will insert that. You can now insert some more information just with regard to basic stuff there at the airport. Denver, the altimeter is 3016, and the temperature is 16 Celsius. Wind at 160 at 11. Transition altitude, of course, is 18,000 feet here in the U.S. It's a bit windy, but not too windy, so we'll land flaps full, and the barometric minimums are 5,557 feet. Great. So, with all that done, let us set our altitude down here. We can set it all the way down on the star. Takes us all the way down to 11,000, so we'll set our altitude down to 11,000. Obviously we have some terrain up here, but the plane will keep us above that terrain, given our altitude constraints, so that's no concern. The frequency and course are already in. The auto brake we can use, it's 12,000 feet, so an auto brake of low is totally fine. Our minimums are entered, 5,557 feet. We briefed the approach, and our landing speed looks to be 122 knots, so quite low. As you see, the lighting is acting a little odd, but that's okay. So, we're well briefed for our descent. We'll be starting down shortly, and I will see you all as we're getting ready to land at Denver. Alright guys, you can see we're on a left down one here getting close to landing, so let's run the approach checklist. Briefing, complete, auto brake, low set, ECAM status checked, seatbelts on, altimeters 3017 set, and cross-checked, minimums, Barrow 5557, 5557, approach checklist, complete. Okay, so we're just rolling out on final approach here. About to hit the glide slope, there it comes, gear down. We'll arm our spoilers. And follow the glide down, glide slope is captured. Once we're over Leeds, just out here in front of us, we'll reduce down to final approach speed. Field is in sight, I have the lights. Should be getting the
2,500.
Yep, I was just about to say we should be getting the radio altimeter. There it is. Get the rest of our lights on.
2,500.
It's fairly dark out, so we'll get some flight deck lighting. We'll drop down to final approach speed. Speed check, flaps 3. Speed checked, flaps full. And our go around altitude is 12,000 feet. Landing checklist. Cabin crew advised auto thrust speed, ECAM memo, landing no blue, landing checklist complete. Speed's coming down nicely. My aircraft, get rid of the flight director.
$1,000.
See, it's an 11 knot headwind, pretty much right on the nose of the plane there. It's no kind of crosswind component to deal with. Landing at Denver is always a little dicey.
$500.
Checked.
400. 300. 100 about. 100. Minimum.
Landing.
70, 60,
50, 40, 30, 20, retard, 10, 5.
We're down, reversers are green. Decel. $80 knots. The reversers are stowed. Manually braking. And we will keep ourselves rolling on down here to Foxtrot 6, which is just off to our left. Very nice. That was a pretty smooth landing. That went well. Really gorgeous scenery here by Flight Beam. Just really, really nice looking. Alright, we will clean up the aircraft. You can stop the clock. It was an hour and 59-minute flight, so pretty much 2 hours on the dot. Start up the APU. Set our transponder to auto. We can get rid of the weather radar. And we are taxiing into gate Bravo 39. We'll go via Foxtrot here, so we'll hang a right here. Our lights are indeed off. Our auto brake, speed brake, and flaps are all fine. Transponder set. APU is started. Clock is off. Flight directors, landing system, all that. Weather radar's fine. And that's my personal little flow that's run the official after landing checklist. Spoilers disarmed, radar off. Engine mode selector normal, flaps retracted, TCAS is set. Flight director landing system off. APU is on as required, and anti-ice is off after landing checklist complete. So let's head on over to Bravo 39. Alrighty, here we are at Bravo 39. We'll get rid of the taxi light, turn the APU bleed on, and we will park up. Let's see, it looks like there's multiple parking spots here. I guess we're taking the far left one, because that seems to be where the marshaller is lined up. That center line just a little bit closer to us. There we go. Brakes are set. Can cut the engines. Get some lighting in here. The beacon light can go. Passenger signs can go. And I suppose we can pull over the jetway, get some ground connections going. And we can connect our external power, kill the APU, turn off the fuel pumps. Whoops. Fuel pumps can go. And with all that done, go ahead and run the parking checklist. APU bleed is not required. We have external power connected. Engines off, signs off, beacon off, external lighting set, fuel pumps off, cabin doors disarmed, transponder, actually stand by on the cabin doors. Right then, cabin doors disarmed, transponder is standby, parking brake and shocks are as required, parking checklist is complete, and there we are here at Denver with United 742 from Los Angeles complete.
Alrighty guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I know I had a lot of fun. So you can see the jetway warped through the aircraft. I guess it thought we were at this parking position and not the one that we're at, but oh well, it looks kind of bad, but so be it. But yeah, Los Angeles to Denver, I had a ton of fun. It was a really fun flight. Things went smoothly. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. There'll be more YouTube videos, obviously. If we fly with VirtualUA, we will be out of Denver, since that's where we're located. As far as other things to mention, there isn't much. I'm going to be releasing a video soon with my my sim config settings, as well as my NVIDIA inspector settings, so on and so forth. And maybe I might also release a video with my EasyDock settings, because somebody had asked for that. Suggestions, flight requests, always welcome. I'd love to hear you guys' feedback, and the need to get in the shameless self-plug. Obviously, if you enjoyed this video, a like, a subscription, those are appreciated. If you didn't, though, by all means, don't feel you need to, and even better, leave a comment as to why you didn't like it. That tells me what I can do better. So don't be shy for some constructive criticism. For providing that. But yeah, if you watch Twitch, I stream on Twitch, the link's in the description, and if you do the social media thing, I have social media to stay in touch with you guys. But yeah, so I hope you all enjoyed the flight, and I will see you guys for the next video, whenever that may be. Take care, so long everyone.